Now that we've created 2D rendered images, the next thing we're going to do is look at walkthroughs, which will create a video walkthrough around the building. So to create a walkthrough, we can either go to the quick access, again going to the default 3D view, hitting the little arrow, and there's our walkthrough. Or again, it's in the view tab, create panel, drop down arrow, again, it's our walkthrough. So we can see our contextual tab appears. We must hit the green tick to finish. In our options bar there, again, we have the option of turning off the perspective, which we can then create a scale. Again, our offset is our eye level from the ground floor level. So with the walkthrough, what we first must do is create the path which our camera will follow. Now, every time we click with the mouse, so I'll click once, we place a camera. So I'll click again. Every time I click, I place a camera. So once we're happy with the path, we'll go to the green tick and finish. So just in case you press escape and you lose the walkthrough hasn't been deleted, the walkthrough still exists. If we go to our project browser, scroll down, you'll now see we have a walkthroughs heading. We can expand that and there is our walkthrough. So if we right click, show camera, it'll bring back up the path. So now we want to edit the walkthrough. So in the contextual tab, there's our edit walkthrough. When we're in the editor, you'll see here we are able to play it, we can open it, or we can reset the camera. In the options bar here, we have the various controls which we'll cover later on. And here we have the frame. So right now it's on the very last frame, frame 300 of 300. So to edit the first camera, we're going to revert that back to frame 1. And you'll see our camera is now at the start point. So now just like we adjusted the position of the camera for our render, we'll do the same here. So we must now rotate and adjust each camera to focus where we want it to be. So I'm going to use that small grip in the center to click and drag and position it in the view of the building. Then dragging it out to extend to see more of the building. And we must do that with each of the cameras around the path. So to get to the next camera, which is the orange circle here, I'll go back to the Edit Walkthrough tab. And here I'll go to Next Keyframe. So that will now jump to the next camera. And again, I'll just reposition the camera. And then I'll select Next Keyframe again. And then going around the building, selecting Next Keyframe every time to go to the next camera, repositioning every single one to point at the building. And once we have positioned all of our cameras correctly, we'll then go back to our frame and change it to 1 of 300. So now what we want to do is open up the actual walkthrough. So we'll go back to the Edit Walkthrough tab. We will then select Open Walkthrough. And again, we just have that crop box, so we just expand it out. Once we're happy with this, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to change my detail level or my visual style. The reason being, if I change my visual style to realistic, it's going to slow everything right down and it's going to render as the video progresses. So it's going to be very slow. So I'm just going to leave it on hidden line just for this exercise. Nor am I going to turn on the shadows. Again, it's going to slow everything right down. So once we're happy with our crop, we then just have to play the video. So in the walkthrough section, we'll just click play. So how we can increase the speed or decrease the speed is just adding more frames. So here we have frame 1 of 300. So if we click on the 300, it opens up the walkthrough frames. So if we change the total of frames to, say, 800, that's going to increase the number of frames and slow the video down. So as well, within this dialog box here, right now, every single keyframe has a uniform speed. So if I turn that off, I'm able to select each one of the keyframes and I can increase the speed or decrease the speed. So if you're coming to a particular area that you want the camera to slow down, you can select it and decrease the speed here. We'll leave that on for now. Press OK. So now we're back to frame 1 of 800. So if we play again, you'll see that the video itself is much slower. So I'm going to stop the operation and I'm going to open up the ground floor plan.